There are problems that remain unsolved for centuries. Questions so complex that the greatest minds simply walk away, not because they can't solve them, but because they know what it might cost. And then, one day, someone does solve it. Not in a grand hall, not in front of cameras, but quietly, alone. And when the world finally realizes what has been done, they offer fame, they offer fortune, they offer everything. And he refuses. All of it. And this is Forgotten Mind, where the greatest stories ever lived are often the ones that disappear the fastest. For nearly a century, there was a problem. A mystery hidden deep inside mathematics. So complex that it became one of the 7 most important unsolved problems in the world. The kind of problem that defines careers, builds reputations, destroys confidence. Many tried. The best mathematicians from across generations. They studied it, obsessed over it, dedicated their entire lives to it. And still, nothing. No proof. No answer. Just silence. Until one man decided to look at it differently. He wasn't famous. He didn't chase attention. He didn't belong to the circles where recognition was built. He lived quietly, in a small apartment, far from the spotlight, far from ambition. At least, the kind the world understands. Born on June 13th, 1966, in Leningrad, in what was then the Soviet Union, now known as St. Petersburg, Russia. He grew up in a modest home. His mother, a mathematics teacher. His father, an electrical engineer. But his father left the family early, and life became simpler, but harder. His mother raised him alone, encouraged his talent, and his talent was undeniable. From a young age, numbers weren't just numbers. They were patterns, stories, truths waiting to be uncovered. He excelled, competed in mathematics competitions, and at just 16 he won a gold medal at the International Mathematical Olympiad. A perfect score. No mistakes. It wasn't just brilliance, it was something else. Something deeper. Something rare. He continued his studies in Leningrad, diving deeper into mathematics. Not for grades, not for recognition, but for understanding. While others chased success, he chased truth. He went on to work in some of the most respected institutions, collaborated with top mathematicians, even spent time in the United States, visiting places like Princeton University and Massachusetts Institute of Technology, places where careers are built, where reputations are made. And yet, he didn't stay. Because something about that world didn't sit right with him. Recognition, politics, competition, it wasn't what he wanted. So he left, returned to Russia, back to a quiet life, back to isolation. And then, he began working on a problem most had already given up on. The Poincaré Conjecture, a problem so important that solving it would place you among the greatest minds in history. A problem tied to the very shape of space itself. Understanding the universe at its most fundamental level. For years, he worked in silence. No announcements, no interviews, no attention. Just thought, just focus, just truth. And then, in the early 2000s, he did something unexpected. He didn't publish a book. He didn't hold a press conference. He uploaded his work to the internet. 3 papers. Dense, complex, revolutionary. At first, no one understood the full impact. But slowly, mathematicians around the world began to read, to analyze, to verify. Years passed, checking every line, every proof, and then the conclusion became clear. He had done it. He had solved the problem. One of the greatest mathematical challenges in human history. The world responded. Awards were prepared. Recognition followed. He was offered the Fields Medal, the highest honor in mathematics, the equivalent of a Nobel Prize. He refused it. No explanation that satisfied the world. Just refusal. Then came something even bigger. A prize worth $1 million from the Clay Mathematics Institute. A reward for solving one of the 7 greatest problems in mathematics. Again, he refused. $1 million. Walked away. Just like that. The world couldn't understand it. Why would someone give up everything they had worked for? Fame, money, recognition. But to him, that wasn't the goal. He later said that he was disappointed, not with mathematics, but with the culture around it. The lack of honesty, the politics, the way credit was given. It didn't align with what he believed. So he stepped away, completely, from mathematics, from public life, from everything. He withdrew into silence. Living with his mother, in a small apartment in St. Petersburg, no luxury, no wealth, just simplicity, almost invisible. While the world celebrated his achievement, he disappeared from it. No interviews, no appearances, just rumors, stories of a genius who walked away from everything. He didn't build a career from his discovery, didn't monetize it, didn't use it to elevate himself. Because for him, truth was enough. And yet, there was a cost. Isolation, misunderstanding, a life lived outside the world. He had impacted so deeply. He was recognized, but never in the way the world usually celebrates. Because you can't easily celebrate someone who rejects everything you offer. His story isn't about success. It's about principle, about choosing meaning over everything else, about solving something, not for the reward, but because it matters, and then letting it go. His name was Grigori Perelman. Born June 13, 1966, in what was once Leningrad, never married, never chased fame, and still alive today, living quietly, far from the world that tried to reward him. The genius who solved a $1 million problem and walked away. If stories like this change the way you see success, then this is your place. Subscribe to Forgotten Mind. Like this video, because the next story might challenge everything you think matters. And if you want to understand the truth behind this story, check the first pinned comment, where the details wait quietly to be discovered.